For all of human history, we've seen aging as an inevitability, a one-way street of slow decline. We watch our bodies change, our energy dip, and we just accept it. But what if I told you the single biggest mystery in biology, why we age, is starting to be solved? And what if I told you the clues aren't hidden away in some exotic location, but in a place you visit every single day, your own mouth? It sounds almost absurd, doesn't it? But as we'll explore today, a wave of revolutionary science from the world's top institutions is revealing that our oral health isn't just about preventing cavities. It's about preventing the fundamental process of aging itself. So, how is this possible? To understand, we have to start with our investigations first. Clue, the cellular countdown. Imagine your shoelaces. It's on the very ends. You have those little plastic tips, right? They're called the glaze. They protect the lace from fraying. Well, inside every one of our cells, our DNA has something similar. They're called telomeres. Every time one of our cells divides to heal our bodies or just replace old cells, these telomere tips get a tiny bit shorter. It's a biological clock. After about 50 divisions, something called the Hayflick limit, tips are basically gone. The cell knows it can't divide anymore without damaging its precious DNA code. It's a brilliant safety mechanism to prevent errors. But here's the twist. What accelerates this countdown? What makes those telomeres shorten faster? One of the biggest culprits is chronic inflammation. And where is one of the most common sites of chronic inflammation in the human body? You guessed it. Our gums. Research has shown that the constant inflammatory state caused by periodontal or gum disease is associated with shorter telomeres. The fire in your gums is literally burning through your cellular shoelaces faster. But what happens when the shoelace tips are finally gone? Well, that leads us to our second and frankly more terrifying clue, the zombie problem. So what happens when a cell can't divide anymore? You might think it would just die and get cleared away. Many do. But some don't. They enter a strange twilight state. They are technically alive, but they've stopped dividing and they refuse to die. Scientists have a name for them, senescent cells. But a more accurate name is zombie cells. Now, a few zombie cells here and there isn't a big deal. Our immune system can usually clear them out. But as we age, and especially when we have chronic inflammation, they build up. And here's the scary part. These zombie cells are not quiet neighbors. They start to secrete a cocktail of toxic inflammatory signals. Scientists call it the senescence-associated secretory phenotype, or SAPH. I call it zombie goo. This goo creates a toxic environment. It damages healthy, youthful cells nearby. It tells them to become zombies. And it's this self-perpetuating cycle of inflammation and damage that is a primary driver of what we feel as aging. Now, here's the oral health connection that should frankly be front-page news. Studies published by researchers, including those from Harvard-affiliated Salk Institute, have found that bacteria central to gum disease, like Porphyromonas gingivalis, are experts at creating senescent cells and triggering that toxic SASP. The infection in your gums becomes a factory for these age-accelerating zombies. And their inflammatory goo doesn't just stay in your mouth. It enters your bloodstream and travels everywhere, contributing to the aging of your entire system. Okay, so we have a cellular countdown, and we have zombie cells. For a long time, that was the main story. But in the last decade, a new, more profound theory has emerged, championed by leading scientists like Dr. David Sinclair at Harvard. It's called the information theory of aging, and it changes everything. The theory goes like this. Aging is not primarily about damage to our hardware. It's about a loss of information. Think of your DNA as a brand new CD. The digital information, the song, is perfect. It's your genetic code. And for the most part, that code stays remarkably stable throughout your life. But there's another layer of information on top of the DNA. It's called the epigenome. Think of the epigenome as the surface of the CD. The epigenome tells your cells which parts of the song to play. It's what tells a skin cell to act like a skin cell and a brain cell to act like a brain cell, even though they have the exact same DNA song. Aging, the theory proposes, is the process of that CD getting scratched. Life happens. And what causes the scratches? DNA damage, and most importantly for our story, chronic inflammation. The zombie goo we just talked about? It's like sandpaper for the epigenome. As the CD gets more and more scratched, the CD player your cell starts to get confused. It can't read the song properly anymore. Skin cell starts to forget it's a skin cell, loses its youthful identity and function. The song is still there. The information on how to play it is lost. This is a profound shift in thinking. Aging isn't decay, it's a loss of information. Now, if you think that sounds depressing, here comes the most optimistic part of our story. If aging is a loss of information, can we get it back? If the song on the CD is still intact, can we polish the scratches? The answer incredibly appears to be yes. Discovery by Dr. Shinya Yamanaka, which won him a Nobel Prize. Identified for specific factors, now called Yamanaka factors, that could take an old, specialized cell and completely reboot it, turning it back into a youthful stem cell-like state. It was like taking a scratched CD and restoring it to factory settings. Recently, scientists at institutions like the Salk Institute took this a step further. They used these factors in living mice. They didn't reset the cells all the way, but just partially, like polishing the CD, not erasing it. The results were stunning. The mice showed signs of age reversal. Their tissues became more youthful. This suggests that the youthful information is not truly lost, just scrambled, and we may be able to unscramble it. Now let me be crystal clear. This is not available for humans. This is early, experimental science. But where does oral health fit in? Researchers are already exploring how to use these same principles to regenerate dental tissues lost to disease and aging. The dream is to one day reboot the cells in the gums and bone to rebuild what was lost. It's the ultimate repair job, moving from just cleaning up the damage to truly restoring youthful information and function. So while we wait for these incredible future therapies, what does this all mean for us? Right now, in 2025. It means that the actions we take every day are far more powerful than we ever imagined. If aging is like a computer running on scrambled software, then our lifestyle choices are our daily software maintenance. Research suggests that diet, particularly one low in sugar and processed foods, reduces the inflammatory load on our system. It stops pouring fuel on the fire that scratches our epigenetic. CD exercise is known to have powerful anti-inflammatory effects, and can even help our immune system clear out those zombie cells. Quality sleep is when our body does its major cleanup and repair work. And, based on everything we've learned today, oral hygiene is a non-negotiable pillar of this maintenance routine. Brushing twice a day, flossing daily, and seeing a dentist regularly isn't just about your smile. It's about preventing the creation of zombie cell factories in your gums. It's about reducing the systemic inflammatory zombie goo that scratches your epigenome. It's one of the most direct and powerful tools you have to maintain your biological information. The science of aging is no longer a story of inevitable decline. It's a story of information, inflammation, and intervention. It's a mystery we are actively solving. And the most empowering clue of all is that the control panel for many of these ancient processes is located right inside our own mouths. Taking care of it isn't a chore. It's an act of taking control of your own biological future. Thanks for joining me on this investigation.